Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. We've been letting our rocket silo run and we are at 99% completion. We're just waiting for a few more low density structures. I miscounted somehow. I was 4 short. So let's put those in and we will finish building the rocket. And then we'll get this thing launched. There it goes. And now it's preparing the rocket for launch. As you can see here, it does this cool little animation. Okay, there is the rocket ready to go. Now it won't launch automatically. It'll wait until we press the launch button. Alternatively, if you're producing satellites automatically, you can tell it to automatically launch as soon as it gets something placed into the cargo. Now there's an achievement before I launch the satellite. I've already crafted the satellite by hand, by the way. I have it right here. But before I launch it, there is an achievement called So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, I think. Where is it? Here we go. You get that achievement by launching a fish into space. So if you have some fish, raw fish, you can put one in there and then launch the rocket and you'll get that achievement. I don't know if I covered fish, but if you look around water, I don't see any right now. You can see fish. You'll see a little shadow moving through the water. Here we go. Those are raw fish. And if they're close enough to shore, you can just walk over and you can right click and get it out of the water. You can even get them out with bots, right? If you select them with bots, then they'll get picked up. So that's how you get fish. In our case though, we are going to launch this satellite. So we'll put that in the inventory, click the launch button. And enjoy the sights and sounds of success. Okay, so when you launch your first rocket, you win. So that was 25 hours of playtime. Definitely took my time with this one. It could go much faster, of course. Could be a little more efficient. I made a few errors here and there along the way, but 25 hours is not too bad. If you're doing this for the first time and you finish in 25 hours, I think you can be reasonably proud of yourself. Now, if you click finish, then you're just done playing. In my case, I'm going to click continue because I'm not done today. But I am done building rockets for now, so that's that. And actually, what I'm going to do is, I was going to say I could cut the power. Let me take a look here. All right. Well, it's only consuming 8.3 kilowatts when it's not running, so I'll leave it there. We'll just let that sit. I'm not going to do any more rockets for now. But let's grab our science packs. So as I mentioned before, you get 1,000 space science packs by completing that. And speaking of science, let's get that turned back on. So reconnect that belt so the science packs once again start to flow, and we could start to do some more research. Now, we've got a bit of a dilemma here because we need to get the space science packs in there. But I've already got 3 belts and there's not really any room for me to put more. So at this point, what I would do is I would switch over to using the bots to feed science pack production. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these belts. I'm going to pick up, actually let's just use the bots. We'll pick up all of that, including the science packs. All right, and then I'll put these back down again. It was just easier to pick up everything and then place it back down again, I think. Okay, now we need to make a bunch of requester chests. For that, I'm going to need more steel, so let's grab more steel. I'm always running out of steel, it seems. So I'll start crafting 20 of those. And I'm going to grab some more green circuits, since I'm running low on those as well. In the meantime, I will put the space science packs in one of these storage chests, and then I'll get rid of all these science packs that I've picked up as well. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we put in one of those, and I'm just going to set a logistics request for each of the science packs. I'm not going to do 200 though, let's just do 5 of each. We don't want a ton of science packs sitting in one individual chest. I'd rather have them sitting in storage so that they can be distributed as evenly as possible. Okay, so I'll just set this up so that it requests 5 of each one. And then I'll copy that. Now this one got a lot of extras, so I am going to dump that. Now that I've got it set up, and then I can copy that one again. Okay, and then we'll copy that like so. We're going to need another RoboPort up here. In fact, let's just put one here in the middle. Okay. And now they'll get all their science packs that way. So let's start some new research. What would we do next? I would probably do mining productivity next. Or actually, let's do one that uses the space science. What would I do with my first level of space science? I think I would do robot upgrades first. Okay, so the first level, or the first infinite level of robot speed I can do with 1,000 space science packs. After that, the quantity doubles every time. So for the next level, you need 2,000 and so on. But we'll do those two. And then we can start doing some of this other research that we haven't completed yet. You know what? After those robot upgrades, let's do... Actually, let me do Covarex enrichment first. And then we'll do the robot upgrades. Like that. Because I want to get into nuclear power next, and Covarex enrichment is an important part of that. All right, so let's throw in a few lights. Okay, now we need to replace all these belts with passive provider chests. So I'm going to need to start crafting a bunch of those. Let me grab some iron. Let me grab a lot more steel. And then I'm going to need a bunch of red circuits. Here I can start crafting steel chests in the meantime. There we go. Those should probably be passive providers, actually. That way the red circuits will be available on the network. Okay. So what we're going to do then is we'll put passive providers here. All right, and then I'm going to limit the production on these. So for green, we'll have it run when green circuits or when green science packs are less than, I don't know, let's say 50. Well, here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 requesters. Each one of those is asking for 5. So let's say 60. All right, so that'll be enough to fill all those chests. Okay, and then I'll copy that over here. I'll change the green to red. There. And once I dump those, this should actually turn off once this goes into the chests. Okay. Sorry about that. My dog was terribly alarmed that we got a package delivered. Okay, so that part's set up. Let's go and do the same for the military science packs. Okay, so we'll pick all that up. We'll put these in place. I paste it again, change that to gray. All right, and I'll dump those. Now I'm also going to start picking up these belts. All right, so we'll start getting a lot more of these things in inventory. Let's see, grab that. All of that. So what I like about doing it this way with bots rather than belts is that you don't spend resources just filling all these belts full of science packs. You know, especially if at some point in the game you decide to stop producing science for a while because you want to use your resources for something else. It'll stop much quicker if you're just putting them into the bot network with a relatively limited quantity than if you just stop putting research in the queue, because then you're still going to end up filling up the belts with all of your science packs. Okay, need some more of those. All right, change that to blue and copy it down. All right, so in this case, these inserters have stopped because I've already got, looks like over 400 blue science packs in the network. Okay, so let's continue cleaning that up. And then the other nice thing about using bots, of course, as we saw previously, is that we can handle space science packs as well without having to do anything unusual with our belts. Okay, so we'll change that to utility science packs. Copy that all the way. And then production science packs. And copy that all the way. Okay, so now all of our science production is, or at least all of the logistics between the science packs and the labs will be handled by the bots, which is a fairly efficient way to do it. I'm going to put a few more storage chests over here. Okay, so I think we're good there. All right, so the reason I wanted to do Covarex enrichment, which is part of the whole set of things that we need to do nuclear power is because I want to start setting up nuclear power today. So, nuclear power has several different components involved. The first of which is the nuclear reactor. And as you can see, nuclear reactors consume a vast quantity of resources. So just to make one reactor, you need 500 concrete, 1,000 iron plates, 3,000 copper plates, 500 steel plates, and 1,000 bits of plastic, right? So it's no joke. So I'd like to start making those. We also need to make heat pipes, heat exchangers, and steam turbines. Those are all made in vast quantities as well. So I think one thing that would be good to do would be to make it down here at the end of the bus where everything else that we need to make has gotten what it needs. Okay, so let's set up a few factories to craft these items. And now I kind of wish I would have put this out of the way somewhere. But let's start with the reactors. We need copper, steel, red circuits, and concrete. Now the concrete I'm making down at the other end of the base. All right, but I have a lot of copper and steel right over here. So let's bring that across. And steel. Okay, and I'm going to set my output priority on these splitters first. Right, so that I make sure that I'm not going to starve my science packs. There. So whatever's left over, I can use to make the reactors. All right, so let's put that there. So this can be for the reactors. Oh, you know what? I can actually just, I can put a couple stack inserters here. Actually, I don't think I need that. Okay, I need a ton of red circuits. I'm done making rockets for a while, but I don't want to break this just yet. Okay. There we go. And then we'll put a requester chest for concrete. I've got a ton of concrete made. I've got 2 chests full of it. Right, so I'll just request 500. There. Okay. So this will start to make the reactors. These take a while to make. Okay, looks like we need RoboPort coverage over here. Where should I put that? It would be nice to link the top and the bottom, actually. Well, I'll just put it right there. Okay, and then the output, I'll just put in a passive provider. Actually, I won't. I'll just let it craft 2, because I just want to start with 2 reactors. Okay, and then we're going to need a lot of heat pipes, which take copper and steel. Maybe this isn't the best place to do this. And then we need copper, steel, and pipe, and we need copper gears and pipes for the other parts. Yeah, so this isn't really ideal. I think ideally, here, let's do this. I'm just going to make a blueprint of this. Rocket control units. I'll save that blueprint. I'll put it in my blueprint book. I'll put my solar in there as well. Okay. And then I'm just going to take this apart. Okay, I'll pick up all the circuits off the belts. Maybe I won't. Now I'm full. Okay, let's dump some of those. Okay, then we'll pick that up. There. And now rocket production can be completely bot-based as well. Why do I have so much junk? I need to get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, I'm going to turn off my personal bots so that they stop bringing me this junk. I don't really want it. Okay. All right, I've got one reactor so far. Okay, now I can pick it up. Okay, yeah, so we'll just bring all this stuff over. Let's see. Here's an active provider. I can use that to dump some of this stuff more quickly. Okay. Okay, so let's do things properly. We'll do them over here. All right, so we'll use this to make reactors, which we're already pretty much done with anyway. Yeah, let's put spaces in between. We'll use this to make heat exchangers. We'll use this to make heat pipes. And then we need steam turbines. Actually, let's put the steam turbines and the heat exchangers next to each other because those both require pipes. And this one also requires gears. Okay. All right, so let's put in the request for concrete. That's 500. And actually, I'm going to request, I'm hitting shift right click on there and then shift right click on there to copy all that. And I'm going to put a stack inserter. And the reason I'm doing that is because I just dumped a bunch of that stuff into the logistics network, and this way we'll clean some of it out. Okay, now this needs steel and copper plate. All right, so let's extend this. Let's extend this. Let's extend this. And let's extend that. And I think I can turn my bots back on. There we go. There. Okay, and that needs steel. All right, so this would be a good place to have a belt of steel. And then I can run copper directly there. Okay, and I'll put a passive provider there. How much should we make? Well, I don't know. I'll just limit it at 2 stacks. Not sure exactly how much we'll need yet. All right, this one I'll limit to 1 stack. No, let's just do 2 stacks of each. However many that turns out to be. Okay, and then here we're going to need copper as well. Actually, we can copy that whole arrangement there. As well as that. Okay, and then belt of iron up here. And I'm going to need another belt of iron right there. Oops. Okay. And then this will need copper as well. Okay, great. And we can actually use stack inserters for the copper to help it go a little bit faster. Okay, so now we're making all the stuff that we need for the nuclear stuff. And I think at this point, I'm going to clear this out. So I'm going to just right click there to clear out any more bot requests. And then we'll start to do this. The regular way. Okay, so there's the copper. Okay, and then we need steel and red circuits. Actually, the concrete request is going to have to stay there. All right, so steel and red circuits, whoops. I can do with the yellow belts. Since we're not making them fast enough for anything else to be required anyway. Oops. Looks like I got some iron at the end of that steel belt somehow. There we go. Okay, and I'll have this just give us 2. Okay, which I already have. So it'll make 1 more to keep in the barrel. Okay, good. So we're making all of the items that we need for nuclear power. Now what I'm missing is the nuclear fuel, and for that we need uranium. Now I've already started to set up a uranium mine here. If you hover over the uranium ore, you can see that it requires 1 sulfuric acid per mining operation. Okay, so rather than 1 locomotive, 4 cargo wagons, and 1 locomotive, I've set this up so that I have 3 cargo wagons and 1 tanker wagon, which will bring sulfuric acid over to the mine. So I've already got that set up. I already have the train itself set up. We just have to set up the mining and the loading and the unloading and then the subsequent processing. Okay, so I put the train over here. And I figure since we're loading the acid here, we could process the uranium over here as well. Okay, so here I'm loading uranium. Now I set this up so that I'm only going to load up to 10K into this tank because we don't need a ton of it, and I don't want to, you know, if I fill up that whole tank, it's going to essentially empty this tank, and I don't want to do that. So I set this so that we only load 10 in. And I have that circuit wire connected to the train station. And then I set the circuit connection to read the train contents. Okay, so if we hover over this, we can see on the signals, we can see 12K sulfuric acid, which is what is in the tank presently. And when there's ore, you'll see that too. So that way you can, whatever train is stopped at this station, the contents of the train, not including the fuel in the locomotive, will go out. Okay, so that way we can limit how much we load into this tank that way. And then the train itself, because we're going to have two different items now on this train, we're going to be carrying acid and we're going to be carrying uranium ore. I set the schedule to load until uranium ore cargo is equal to or greater than 6,000, which is what we can hold in 3 cargo wagons. And then it's going to unload until the uranium ore is equal to 0. Okay, and I have an AND condition because I wanted the train to wait here, but I'm going to remove that, and then the train's going to leave right away because we don't have any uranium ore yet. And that way we can ride this over there. Okay, so we'll set up the mining of uranium ore. So I'm using a 4-to-4 balancer, but I only have 3 belts coming out. That way we can load into 3 fairly easily. All right, so I've got 50 mining drills with me. So you can see when you put it over uranium, it changes its shape. All right, and you can see that it's got inputs and outputs of pipes on the other 3 sides. So you feed in your sulfuric acid to any of those 3, and then any 2 drills that are touching each other will pass acid from one to the other. Okay, so you don't have to hook the acid up to every single mining drill. And then we can even have them back to back like this. I mean, this will probably last us for the rest of the game. You really don't need a lot of uranium mining to get a pretty large setup. All right, now in this case, I need my power poles, right? So what I'm going to do is put my power poles like this here in the middle. And then I'll use underground belts. Okay, and that's how we can power it. So I'm going to copy that. And that should allow me to get everything powered up. There we go. Okay. So I think this will be more than enough drills. And then we just need to connect the acid. So now I need to connect this row. I need to connect all these, and all those. So I need essentially 4 pipes in total. And I've got 3 belts. Okay. So let's connect this there. We'll connect that there. I'll connect that there. And I'll connect this there. And I'll put a pump on the output. There. All right, on the unloading side, I also have this unloading. It'll only unload until I have 10,000 in this tank. Okay, and now the uranium is being mined. And that lined up just absolutely perfectly. That was just luck. Let's check our power. Okay. Now we'll start to load uranium. All right, now uranium ore can't be used directly in the reactor. We need to put uranium fuel cells in the reactor, and those require uranium-235 and uranium-238. Those 2 items come out as a result of us processing the uranium ore. And we will get into that in the next episode. So, until then, hopefully you've enjoyed this so far. You know, if your main goal was just to launch a rocket, you could quit now and go start a new game. But if you want to continue to learn a few more things, I'll be covering nuclear power. I'm going to go over some more advanced train networks, since what we have now on the space is very simple. For the more advanced train tutorial, I'll probably just load up a different save that I've done in the past, where I've already got it set up, and we'll start to go over some of that stuff in more detail. Okay, see, now I've got a new biter nest that's started up over here, so I'm going to send my train over to supply 2 so it can fire upon it with the artillery. That's the other thing that we have to do is set up our automatic supply system with the train. We still got to do that. So, but like I said, we'll get into all that in future episodes. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.